This is Let Us Interrupt You, episode 76, here on Tuesday, September 6th, 2022. I hope everybody had a great Labor Day weekend. I hope everybody had a great, nice little 3 or 4 day weekend off. We're about almost 48 hours away from the NFL kickoff, regular season opener. A lot of questions right now, a lot of rumors spearing around the whole Tom Brady debate. There's possibilities right now of Brady and Gisele getting divorced, maybe not getting divorced. I mean, there's a lot of rumors going around with the whole Tom Brady and Gisele saga. There was actually even one rumor going around that that Gisele just left the kids, just went up, left the kids during the 11-day absence. There was really no timetable if she was gone for the entire 11-day period on whether or not she was gone. She went back to Brazil. Didn't bother telling Brady. Didn't even really bother leaving a trail note, really. There was a lot of rumors stirring around that, really. And there was a rumor going around there was a $600 million divorce on the table. Now, if I'm Tom and I'm Gisele, I'm keeping my kids away from social media. I'm keeping my kids away from the public eye right now. It's a good thing these kids go to private school or they get homeschooled because they would get annihilated by this news, and it would hit them too hard. Now, for Jack, I think he's just used to this because he's already divorced from Bridget. So it's like, why would he complain? But Jack Brady had football practice. I think it was on Saturday. Tom was there and Gisele's kids were there. Tom and Gisele's kids were there. Gisele was not there for the moment. They went on some cruise, I guess, supposedly. I don't know when it was. They went down some water park, with a water slide in it. I don't know if it was in the Bahamas. It was probably an early pick with Jack Brady's birthday, which, by the way, his birthday is like a week after all this craziness has happened. I don't know exactly when the 11-day absence started at that point for Tom Brady. It may have been right between that start there, which was probably when that picture was taken. And I think there's still trouble in paradise. Now, people want to say, oh, they seem happy in that photo. It's one photo that you don't know when it was taken, that you don't know when it was shown. Stop. There's trouble in paradise. And you know something right now? It would not surprise me if these two end up getting a divorce by the end of the year. And listen, Tom should go a separate way anyway. He should not let this distract him throughout the entire season. I mean, it's bad enough that your offensive line is bad, but now your head's not in the game. I mean, you got to be in the game at this point because it's bad enough now that people are saying that Julio Jones is ready to go and he's back in, 2012, 2013 form. But or 2015, was it 2015 form? Yeah, 2015 form he's back into 8 years later. But I'm looking at this and I'm thinking to myself, well, Julio Jones is ready. Chris Godwin's ready. He took his brace out. Vita Vea was named captain. Fournette's ready to go. He talked, and Chris Godwin was on the, I forgot what name the podcast was. It was something sports. And it was talking about really his recovery and how he recovered through how it was, how he feels after the ACL injury and all that stuff. Now, is he ready to go? Is he 100%? I mean, the guy took the brace out and he's running at full speed. He's ready to go. Julio Jones, he's ready to go. Vita Vea, he's ready to go. Leonard Fournette, he's ready to go. He was doing an interview with Sports Day in Tampa Bay. I forgot. I think it was Tampa Bay Journal Times, I guess, Sports Day Journal Times, I think, with Rick Strud, the one of the writers. But anyway, I mean, let's put this in perspective for a second. And I may have even just botched the name just now, but let's put this in perspective. If everyone else is ready but Tom Brady, that's a problem. That's a problem. And it could be one of those two things. Either Gisele got in his head or Gronk got in his head, Stephen Ross got in his head, Roger Goodell got in his head, DeMaurice Smith got in his head, and the 31 other owners may have gotten in his head. I don't know, because there's a lot of people out there that want Tom Brady. They want a piece of Tom Brady. And people want to say, and I read the Facebook messaging today saying, oh, how, leave him alone, who cares, it's this old news. Does nobody realize at this point that half this stuff might be fake? People might be fake, Star Magazine might be fake. And the thing of it is, he whined about getting extra money. He already got the extra money a year ago. And besides the fact, anyway, he was still under contract. His contract never changed. He's still getting paid the exact same extension that he got a year ago before all this nonsense happened, before all this stuff even came out. So I don't know why people are putting in there, oh, he wanted more money. What's the difference? He got the extension that he won Super Bowl 55. in his own hometown during a pandemic year, doing it all on the road, by the way, with the fact that you didn't win a division. I mean, you know, I read it in this stuff, and I just think to myself, it's so ridiculous that people think that Tom Brady was doing it just for the money. You do realize he retired because of one of two things. Bruce Arians forced him into retirement because he never let go of the being in charge game, playing mind games, messing with Tom Brady, getting Antonio Brown released, forcing players to go back in there when they're injured, when they shouldn't even go back in there to begin with. They should be checked out, calling out the medical team and saying, screw you, right? And making them play through injury, which is stupid and unsafe, by the way. So you're creating an unsafe working environment, even though it's the NFL. I mean, I know I shouldn't be even saying this at this point about that, but it's kind of true. I mean, if you're banged up, if you're not at 100%, why risk it? Why risk furthering yourself injured even more at this point? Especially, I mean, unless you can take it. That there's a difference between it. There's people out there that could take it, and there's people that say to themselves like, "Yeah, maybe I shouldn't even do this." And they're not. It's not that they're not tough enough. It's just that they're playing smart here, and they're not going to jeopardize the rest of their career and retire too soon. I mean, you look at Tom Brady, the whole Antonio Brown thing, and I think Brady wanted Brown off the team as soon as that whole thing happened. But I think the problem is that he wanted him to come back if Brown apologized. I think Antonio Brown did apologize. The problem was it wasn't sincere, and Brady didn't get that part of it. Bruce Arians didn't believe it. And Bruce Arians wasn't going to tell Tom Brady what to do. He overruled Brian Leftwich. He overruled the other team players. They all knew that Bruce Arians was really, feeling it like he didn't feel like he meant much in that time in that Super Bowl run. So that's why he took over as much as he did. And that's why it infuriated Brady. And that's why Brady did the fake retirement. Now people are going to say, oh, it's not a fake retirement. He's going to pull this crap all along. Then why go to the fake retirement? Why stay retired for 40 days out of football? I'm just curious. If he was going to pull this the entire freaking time, what's the point? What's the logic behind it? There is no logic behind it. There is no logic behind it, period. And I just think the idea is that you have this ridiculous story that comes out saying that everything's fine. It's old news now. Let's move on. Of course they're going to move on from this now because it's getting too close to the season. Why the hell are we going to keep talking about this now anyway? Although with Extra, they'll put it on for 5 days. With Access Hollywood, it'll be a nonstop conversation. It'll be going on for the next 4 months, this story. But I think Gisele and Tom Brady are still in trouble, no matter how you look and see this right now. With Tom Brady playing football and Gisele being angry about it and wanting to go back to modeling, that's the only reason why she wants Brady to retire as much as she does. So she can make more money. So she can wear the pants in the family because she wants to be in charge. I get it. It's a different era. It's 2022. I mean, I don't even know who wears the pants in that relationship. I really don't know, honestly, at the time. And hearing these stories about Gisele, how she has anger management issues, and she's even admitting to this. I mean, if sources are confirming this and she's confirming it and she's not even trying to deny it now at this point and not come out to the public saying like, oh, I didn't say this. I'm not and she's not even denying it. I mean, you're doing an interview with Vogue and you're talking about how you got to get yourself away from Tom Brady and say, let's talk about this later. I don't want to explode now. And she holds it in. That's not healthy for you either. That's going to reduce your life expectancy with you keep doing what you're doing. So it's not helping you. It's not helping Tom. It's not helping the kids. But I'm just trying to figure out what's her motivation now to come out of retirement now, 5 years later. I'm just curious. Is Kendall Jenner stealing your thunder at this point? Is Kylie Jenner stealing your thunder? Is most of these Victoria's Secret models stealing your thunder at this point? Are they making more money now than they ever made before? And you want to get as much of it as you can so they don't have any of it? What is it? Because you were perfectly fine doing what you're doing. And besides the fact anyway, I mean, the only time you really wanted this guy to retire, realistically, was after Super Bowl 51. During the whole Tom versus time, because he was, people would say, oh, he was ruining his legacy by doing that. He was being a whiner, being a complainer. And everybody hated the whole Facebook Live thing, which I didn't really mind it, though I didn't really quite understand it, really, of why this was happening at this point. Like, if he was never going to retire anyway, he's going to retire at 45 years of age. Here's what got Brady pissed off at the end of those. You want to know what it was at the end of the day? What would bother him? Gisele, because I think Gisele got to him. His mind is so out of whack right now that he's just not in the right frame of mind to think, and that's a problem. That's a problem with this guy. And then it's not really the best time right now to lose focus right now when you have the biggest game of the year so far to start out with. I mean, it's just not. It's not a good time at all. And what's worse is that if you're Tom Brady and knowing that your offensive line is limited, but now you have wide receivers that are ready to go, focus. And, at this point, I titled this Gisele versus Tom because this is basically what the season is going to be. The whole thing's going to be about. Tom's going to think about all the opponents being Gisele right at that football field. That's what he does. He pitches Roger Goodell being on that football field. He pitches Bill Belichick on that football field. He pitches Robert Kraft on that football field. All the people that said that let him go and said, "No, we're not going to take you back. We'll figure it out." That's what he does. The whole Spygate, Deflategate crap. Brady got his revenge. He won a Super Bowl out of that. The whole Spygate thing that not the following year after he tore his ACL, but the year afterward, he went out in a big run. He went 14-2. The team won the division. Now, people want to look and say the division was so easy to beat, but here's the thing. You're going on the road against Pittsburgh at the time. You're going on the road against Cleveland. They're not easy to beat. They're not easy to beat at all. It's not really that hard to beat these teams. You're going up against the Jets, who were competitive at the time in that division. So, I mean, I hear this stuff like this, and I think to myself, like, you know what? This is why I can't stand the media at this point, because they always try to trash the Patriots, and they always have their way. Really? Because last year they didn't have their way. In fact, they had the worst home record last year out of the entire league last year, I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken. Though I may be wrong on that ordeal. But they had some pretty tough games last year. Most of them at home. So I hear that argument, and it's like, now they got Mac Jones. And there's always a lot of questions now going forward about that. They're trying to figure out now, what to do next from here. And that's the thing. We have no idea. We have no idea what's next. We're getting into college football recap stuff, but before that, speaking of the Patriots, I might as well just bring this up against better judgment here. Laquan Treadwell, the former first-round draft pick, which I completely forgot this guy was a first-round draft pick. That goes to show you how much I really think about Laquan Treadwell. Got signed on the practice squad as of yesterday. And also yesterday, Francis Tiafoe upset Rafael Nadal in the U.S. Open quarterfinals. So there is no Djokovic because of the COVID issue, no Roger Federer, and no Nadal in the U.S. Open this time around right now. Kind of a weird trend here going right now. I wanted to mention that because I didn't put that in the feed here to open up the show with. I was actually going to open the show with it, believe it or not. But anyway, might as well get into college football weekend here. There were a lot of good games that were on over the weekend, which I will get into in just a second. Let me just get back on the week one trend here. And I might as well start with the obvious one. Ohio State beat Notre Dame 21-10. Stroud had halfway decent game. I mean, it wasn't really overall blow away. 223 yards, 2 touchdowns. Not a great night for him. Very much struggled in this game against Notre Dame's defense. I thought Notre Dame was going to pull off the upset, honestly. I was stunned they didn't. But it was all Ohio State in the second half of this game. Texas A&M beat Sam Houston 31-0. Michigan won 51-7. North Carolina State came out on top 21-20 over East Carolina. Very close game. Georgia killed Oregon 49-3 to the point where now Oregon is not even in the top 25 out of that game. What seems to be the common theme right now, every time these SEC teams have these Chick-fil-A kickoff games, they always seem to kill them. It's very strange. Oklahoma beat UTEP 45-13. Miami beat Bethune 70-13. Arkansas beat Cincinnati 31-24. Houston Cougars won in triple overtime 37-35. Ole Miss beat Troy 28-10. BYU beat South Florida 50-21. USC beat Rice 66-14. Baylor beat Albany 69-10. Wisconsin won 38-0 over Illinois State. Kentucky beat Miami, Ohio 37-13. Alabama got the 55-0 win. Last Sunday, I should say, with Florida State winning by 1 point, and they had a block extra point at the end of the game, which hit the goalpost as well. It was almost good, but no good. Clemson beat Georgia Tech 41-10. DJ Dugali last night was pulled. I don't know what quarter was in last night, but he was 19 for 32 in this game for 209 yards and a touchdown. Sims was 23 for 36 for 164 yards last night. 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Georgia Tech looked like they were going to pull up the upset. They really were looking like they were going to pull up the upset here. Coleman came in the game, went 4 for 6 for 50 yards, 1 touchdown, no pick. They went 90 had a quarterback rating of 94.6. Dugali last night had a quarterback rating of 39.4 last night. And he averaged 6.5 yards a game. So I bring this up to all you people, and I want you all to let me know in the comment section right now or some point, or you want to message me on Facebook or Instagram or whatever. It's fine. Do you believe right now DJ Ugali's job is on the line? And if it is, at this point, right now at this point, do you believe right now he's going to lose his job to Cody Kolbe? Because I think this kid was good last night. I think this kid might take the job. I can't say one good thing about DJ Ugali last night. He struggled last night. This kid has not been the same all year since that Georgia game in week 1 of last year. This guy struggled last night. And look, the offense looked terrible last night from my perspective. I mean, yeah, they ran away with it late in the second half of the game. But, I mean, the whole momentum changed because Clemson's defense finally woke up and Sims was screwing up badly. So it really came down to a really bad matchup, a really bad opponent. And it really came down to the fact going into it that it's just Clemson is not looking like a team right now that is going to go and make a lot of noise this year unless they make a quarterback change. Coleman has got a bright future. This kid's got a good arm. His name is Cade Colbeck. I don't know why I thought his name was Cole. But his name is Cade Klubnik. He's a freshman out of Austin, Texas. And I think he's ready. For a short series that he had last night, I mean, if you're averaging 8.3 yards, averaging more yards than the guy who's your starter, and really only had 2 incomplete passes last night that really honestly weren't really on him, this kid's ready. I'm sorry, but I've seen enough of DJ where I could say, you know what, the kid's not ready. He's not ready to shine, and he's supposedly a junior this year, and he might be ready for the NFL draft. I think he needs another year. I'm sorry, he does. But honestly, Clemson, look, you did the best you could with him. I think this kid needs to be transferred. I don't know where at this point. I don't know who'd want him. Maybe Maryland would take him. Maybe, Liberty would probably take him. Maybe, I would say maybe Tennessee would take him. Maybe Texas Tech. Maybe Texas A&M. Maybe Texas. You never know. There's a lot riding on this. So don't be surprised if somehow Clemson ends up starting this kid next week. I would not be shocked by this. Just wouldn't be shocked. The top 25 rankings have popped in. I'll give you from 25 up. That's where I'll start out from this because I was actually kind of surprised by this really by most of the rankings here. Houston dropped down to number 1. Which I'm surprised they didn't stay at number 24 because University of San Antonio was pretty damn good last year, and the fact they weren't going into this matchup ranked did surprise me. Tennessee went in 24th. Wake Forest came in 23rd. Ole Miss came in 22nd. By the way, they both dropped down 1 ranking each. BYU took a jump right now from 25 to 21. They really should have surpassed Kentucky. Kentucky did not look that convincing against Miami, Ohio to stay at number 20. They were struggling for most of that game. Late fourth quarter rally. That was really about it. That's what really got them to win. Wisconsin, look, they play a weak Illinois State team. They deserve to drop 1 ranking. And North Carolina State, even though they got the win here, how do you almost lose at East Carolina like 3 different times? And you got lucky 3 different times. I just can't figure that one out for the life of me. Even with the missed field goal, the missed extra point, which is I'm going to explain how that worked. I mean, it happened. They had a missed extra point. They missed the field goal there. They missed a touchdown or whatever. It was ridiculous. Pittsburgh 17th ranked. They had a pretty tough matchup with West Virginia. They played them tough. It's a very tough matchup between those 2 teams. Arkansas came in at 16th ranked. They jumped up 3 spots. Miami came in at 15th. I mean, let's be honest. They played a crappy Buchanan team. They're not going to be remembered really for this game. Michigan State went up 1 ranking. Utah dropped 6 spots after losing to Florida. Anthony Richardson, who I believe right now is in the running right now, that might top Bryce Young, but I don't necessarily think Bryce Young will lose the Heisman Trophy to him this year. And there's also Bennett, who's in the running as well. He's at plus 1,800 right now with the Heisman odds right now. So I think there's your 3 finalists this year. I really do. I don't think C.J. Stroud right now is in the conversation anymore after last night. I really don't. Florida's coming in at number 12. They were going in non-ranked going into the game. They pulled the upset at home against Utah. Big jump for them. They're playing Kentucky this weekend in the Swamp. Oklahoma State coming in ranked 11th at 1-0. USC's 10th, 1-0. Baylor's 1-0 in the 9th rank. Notre Dame's number 8, after losing to Ohio State. Oklahoma's coming in at 7th rank. They dropped up 2 spots. Texas A&M's staying at the 6th spot. Clemson dropped down to a 5th spot, even with a 41-10 win. It was not a really convincing one because it took a quarterback change and entirely different offense, including it to really just put it away. Michigan coming in number 4. They jumped up 4 spots. Ohio State dropped down a spot, even though they got the 11-point win over Notre Dame. Was not a convincing one. Georgia came in at number 2. I really thought they should have been number 1. Alabama State remains at number 1, but I really thought Georgia was going to be number 1 here just because of the way they beat Oregon. And it really was a convincing win. This was a really convincing win. They forced a lot of turnovers. They took advantage from the turnovers, points on turnovers, off the turnovers there. They must have had at least 3 or 4 of them. I mean, Bo Nix in this game played like absolute garbage. Oregon sucks. That's all I got to say. They sucked. And I really thought they were going to be really good and make this a close game. I really thought this was going to be a really close game. I'm surprised that Oregon even had any effort in the first half of that game. I would have just waved the white tower and said, yeah, I'm not going to score any points here. So that's that. So that is your ranking. That is the stuff that came in. There's not really a lot more on college football news to get into right now. I already brought up the odds. I already brought up the ranking changes there. I might as well get into Cam Newton news. Cam Newton was on my YouTube timeline last night because apparently there was news that came out, and this is according to Black and White Sports, according to Road Ranch. Shout out to him for putting out the video. And I heard this because I thought this was interesting. This is according to Outkick. This is where he got the article from. This is actually came out as of yesterday. So according to court filings, ex-wife accusing him of not paying absurd utility bill. You want to hear about how much this utility bill is? $21,000 for charges incurred from September of 2020 to July of 2022. Here's the breakdown for this one: $5,500 for cable expenses, $6,600 for the internet, $4,725 in power charges, and another $4,532 for gas, for a grand total owed of $21,357. I can believe this. The guy's obsessed with the internet. He's constantly watching cable television. The guy's not doing anything right now at this point. He ain't working. He ain't paying for nothing. Nobody wants him to play football. It's absurd at this point. And I would not be surprised. And this is a guy who's a former NFL MVP, and look where he's gotten up to this point. Since that Super Bowl 50 loss, he's hitting rock bottom. That's it. His wife divorced him. COVID happened. He's playing football for the Patriots, and he's starting to suck so badly. Then he's got released by the Patriots. Then he gets signed by the Carolina Panthers. He's even worse than Carolina. And then this shit comes out. I mean, this guy is not having any luck. He's not doing the yoga commercials anymore. He's not getting any royalties for that. He's not really getting a lot of commercials in New England. He's not really getting a lot of commercials. I don't think he had one commercial with New England. Not one. He had plenty of them with Carolina, but that ended pretty quickly. I mean, this guy is hitting rock bottom. He's not in the right frame of mind. And I can believe this because this is a guy, and the fact that you got the mentions, and this is according to the court documents right now. So I don't know why would the ex-wife even lie in court? The guy's not working. That's pretty obvious. The guy is not working. So I don't see how this is even a shock to anybody going forward. I just, people are looking at this Cam Newton story, and it's insanity. And Kia ain't done yet. So there's more to this story. She also reported she wanted him to pay $2,000 to cover her legal bills for having to drag him to court, which he didn't even do that, by the way. So imagine going to the mailbox and pulling out a utility bill for $20,000. That's wild. This was written by Zach Dean for Outkick. This. I don't know what else to say here other than Cam Newton's hitting rock bottom. That's it. The guy has literally hitting rock bottom. And if no one thinks that by now, with the way these bills are coming out right now, if I had utility bills like this, everything would be shut off. I wouldn't have one. I've never heard of a guy spending that much money. And the fact of the matter is, I'm trying to figure this out right now. If he's got to have a lot of stuff for what he's gotten paid over the years as a football player. But to run up this much of it is insane. I can't even imagine my bill being over $400. Never mind $6,000. Never mind $20,000. That's insane. That's all I gotta say. That is insane. We got some Patriot news coming out right now. I mean, I already mentioned the Laquan Treadwell signing earlier, but we're about, let's see, 5 days out from the matchup against the Miami Dolphins. A lot of people are putting out there right now, is Bill playing possum? Is he really running the offense? Is this really to fake out the other opposition right at this point to throw them off here? Is Matt going to have more control here right now? Here's my question. Have you lost faith yet in Bill, or is Bill taking you for granted? That's the question. And I meant to talk about this the other day because of two reasons. Because we're this close away from the game. We're about, I would say now, a good, 90 plus hours from now from kickoff here. I don't know. It just seems like to me that we're so close away from this happening. And the reason I say Bill might be taking you for granted is because you look at the press conference, you look at what he did, you look at the whole loophole thing, you look at what's come out at this point and him even admitting to it. I mean, this guy is taking everybody for granted. He's taking the media for granted. He's taking you fans for granted. And really, if you think about it right now, it's like all faith in Bill. Bill, we have faith in you. I have no faith in this team. I'm just being honest. I have no faith in this team at all whatsoever. So the idea is that this guy is going to bring us some faith. I just think it's a bunch of hooey. I really do. And this was according to Sports Edition. I think it was, I don't know if it was Tommy Kern who's covering most of this right now, Phil Perry, who's been covering most of the Patriots coverage. But this team's not ready. I'm sorry. They're not ready for a playoff run this year. They're not good enough this year. You got Miami, who's red hot right now with Tua Tagovailoa. You got Tyreek Hill there. And Waddle. And don't get me wrong, Tua's arm, still a question. There's a lot of question with that guy's arm. There's a lot of question right now what happens in week one going forward. But honestly, I'm not looking at chances. I'm not looking at a chance against Miami. And I think Miami's going to get the win week one. And people are telling me, they might go 9-8. They might go 10-7. They look promising. I thought they were looking promising too in that one preseason game. And I thought to myself, hold. Was it all about Mac Jones in that game, in that one series? Nope. It didn't set the tone. Preseason doesn't really set the tone for anything. Like, maybe it's the third or fourth week, you get a pretty good idea of it, but it's so limited this year because of the third week. And I tell this to people all the time. They're going to treat this game like it's the third week and it's the final week of football, like it should be. The problem is now is everybody's getting hurt now, so I don't think they're going to have any starters playing ever again going forward. I don't think the mascots are even going to attend games anymore because the Ravens mascot hurt himself, tore his ACL in the middle of a game the last time. So who knows? Is preseason even worth it anymore? Should we even have preseason? I don't think so. Should they even have the players get hit out there? I don't think so. They might as well just play a two-hand touch at this point and avoid getting injured. But I'm watching this matchup, and I'm watching how this is playing out. It's not a good thing. It's really not a good thing at all. And I think, honestly, if they are playing possum and they're actually a lot better than what they are, then I might change my tune. But right now, I'm not too confident on this Patriot team. I'm just being honest. I'm sorry. It's not really much there to be confident about. It's I'm just taking it at strong value here. There's not really much to say about this team, really. So, I mean, Aikman might like him. There's a report today that Aikman has compared Patriots Mac Jones to Tom Brady. Quarterback has everything you need, everything that you need. I like that comparison. That was according to Bleacher Report that he put that in there. I can read the whole article. But, it's interesting. It is interesting up to this point. I don't know if I mentioned that or not. Did I mention that on the show? I can't even remember now. It was 2 days ago, so let's see. No, I don't think I mentioned that. Archie Manning threw 3 touchdowns in his season debut, in his high school debut. This was according to Newsbreak. So I have that right here. RG officially kicked off his senior season of high school football with a huge performance. The Texas commit went 8 for 14 for 142 yards and tossed 3 touchdowns while rushing for 37 yards and a lead to Idshore Newman. I think I might have mentioned this already. I feel like I did. I don't remember. If I did, I apologize, but I think I may have not mentioned that the other day. But there were some stuff that I would like to mention that I have not mentioned yet, which is Jake Paul and Anderson Silva fight is official. It will happen on October 29th in Phoenix, Arizona on pay-per-view or on the whatever that boxing app pay-per-view thing is now. That's been named official. Bears are taking serious steps right now to evaluate Arlington Park. Will honor current lease of the Soldier Field, but this will most likely be possibly the last season. This is what we're said right now, written by Aaron Walsh. The Chicago Bears are continuing their pursuit of a new stadium at Arlington Park, and they have announced that while they are committed to Soldier Field, they are also taking the necessary steps to evaluate the possibility of moving to a new home. The franchise made the announcement in a letter released Tuesday. We are taking serious steps to evaluate the unique opportunity presented to us. The Bears remain committed to Soldier Field and will honor the terms of its lease, while prospect of a transit-oriented mixed use and entertainment district anchored by a new enclosed stadium for exciting for the Bears and the entire state. There is much work to be done before we can close the property, and then whether we develop it, we look forward to working with key partners and stakeholders across Chicagoland community and state of Illinois in the months ahead, post quote. Good take. Good quote right there by the Chicago Bears there, by the way, for and really just a well-written letter. This has to get done. The Chicago Bears have to get a new stadium. Their stadium is too old. It's falling apart. It's not good anymore. The prestige of it died in the early 2000s. They need a new stadium. Arlington Park seems like a good place for them. If Lori Lorfer wants them out of Soldier Field at this point and they knock it down so criminals don't freaking use it to break in again, then just do it. Listen to the crazy old lady. That's all I got to say. I can't believe I'm actually even saying that, but that's really the truth here. Just listen to her. It seems like she knows what she's talking about. Bottom line going forward. Franco Harris will get his number 32 jersey retired in the Steelers-Raiders game that's on Christmas Eve. That will be on a Saturday at, I think it's Saturday at 1 o'clock. And it will be exciting to watch that jersey retirement. It's about time he got his jersey retired. He should have gotten his jersey retired a long time ago. I'm surprised he didn't. If it wasn't for that immaculate reception, who knows if the Steelers would have continued their dynasty? Who knows? Shaquille O'Neal gives his uncle a home surprise makeover on a secret celebrity renovation, according to CBS Sports. Basketball Hall of Famer Shaquille O'Neal is no stranger to giving back. It's not uncommon to hear of the 4-time NBA champion paying for a stranger's groceries, picking up the tab for an entire restaurant, or even paying for someone's engagement ring while out shopping. Shaq kind reaches far and wide, and his latest example of generosity, the big man is helping lead a renovation project for a family member who played a key role early on in his NBA career. O'Neal recently appeared on an episode of CBS Secret Renovation, where he took part in a home makeover for Uncle Roy. The episode, which will air on September 9th, 8 p.m. Eastern, shows O'Neal returning to Orlando, Florida, where his NBA career began. To check out the upcoming episode, click here on the link. So obviously you got to click the link to watch the episode. Anyway, sorry about that. I was distracted by the text messaging there from my mom. But anyway, so that's that. Good for Shaq. You know, Shaq has been known to do this for years. This is when I hear stories like this, I gotta share it because you gotta be kind to one another. Just be kind. You know, like Ellen would say on her show, on the Ellen DeGeneres show, be kind to one another. So you just gotta do that stuff. You know, there's not a lot of that anymore. So I love hearing stories like that. It does warm my heart a little bit. Anyway. Anyway, so I got some more news, which is the Red Sox over the weekend, who swept. They swept the. Let me go back to this for a minute because I believe they swept the Texas Rangers, by the way, and they lost last night to Tampa Bay. So I had to mention this because I just think this needs to be mentioned here. They're going to keep Alex Cora and they're going to keep Giant Bloom. I've already said my piece about this stuff right now. They're keeping those two guys. I don't know what they're thinking. They're not the right fit, obviously, but they're going to keep them. And I've heard a lot of questions saying, will they really return? Is this all speculation at this point? And all I say to that is hocus pocus, because it's going to happen. They're not going to fire these guys at this point. They've already been told now they're not going to fire them even though they're in last place. I mean, at this point now, they're kind of playing for their manager now at this point. But if they're not going to fire him, it's like, why even keep playing? But they swept the Texas Rangers on, I think it was a 4-game sweep. And they lose to Tampa Bay last night. And I'm thinking to myself, all right, well, it's Tampa Bay. They do play you guys tough sometimes. It's not easy going against Tampa Bay one of these days. It's just not. But I thought about it yesterday. And I thought about the pitching in this game, because the bullpen in this game, because there was a lot of question marks going in this game. Bogarts went 2 for 5 last night. Devers went 1 for 2. Devers really walked a lot in this game, really. It was just basically him just walking a lot. Devers didn't really get a lot of at-bats in this game either, so I don't know what the story was with that last night. But Walker was in the game, 6 innings, 7 hits, 2 earned runs, 0 walks, 7 strikeouts last night. Familiar, once Walker came out, that was it. You're pulling this guy out at a time where he's doing really well. He's not really allowing a lot of hits, really. He's not putting a lot of people in trouble here. Familiar was the one that screwed the whole pooch up. And he got the loss last night. And it's unfortunate, but it happened. So I look at that and I go, you know what? It is what it is. Kelly was in the game last night. He wasn't any better last night. 1 hit, 1 strikeout. I mean, I say no better because it's like you should have put him in. It would have might helped you out win the game. It was actually frustrating, actually, like looking back in this game and rewatching it and going, yeah, they really should have put that guy in the game. They got Rich Hill on the mound tonight against Chagoras tonight. Hill is 6 and 5. Hill's a surprising one. I will say that, though. Even though his ERA is 4.52, it's not great. He's been a really good pitcher this year. He's been really a little bit better than a lot of people expected. Walker's been good this year. Hill's been good this year. And it's sad because you got guys like Evaldi and, Sale, and they just disappoint. And they always let you down. But these guys have found a way to convince me that they can still hang. Hill can still hang. Walker can go in there and dominate like he should. I don't know why Tampa Bay got rid of him. I think Tampa Bay would have had at least 3 or 4 extra wins maybe if you had Walker around. And they probably would lead the division right now against the Yankees. Speaking of the Yankees, they struggled last night. They weren't really convincing, really, either way. Or they didn't even play last night. Or they did play last night. They won last night. Okay. But they still continue to struggle. They're not really that far ahead. I think right now, what are they? They are like 11-24, I think it is, or like ridiculous like that. They lost 2 out of 3 in Tampa Bay, and they lost Monday, or they won Monday. Sorry, they got a doubleheader on tomorrow. But for a team that had like the best record in baseball, and they're 4 and 6 in their last 10 games, and they had the worst record since after the All-Star break. It's so mind-boggling to figure out, is this team going to collapse for real and miss the playoffs? Are we rewatching 2011 all over again, except the difference is now it's not the Red Sox, it's the Yankees? Is that what we're watching here? Because if we're watching this and the Yankees miss the playoffs this year, Aaron Boone's going to get fired. There's no doubt about this in my mind. There's no doubt about it whatsoever. I don't know how the hell this guy's not fired now at this point. How there's not even a thought running in people's heads going, maybe he won't get fired this year. Because right now, if they keep this pace up, if they keep losing these games, keep losing these series, they might be on the pace right now of being eliminated from the playoffs. Because right now they have 90 wins and 72 losses. They're going to go 9-18 in their last 27 games. That's what's going to end up happening. They will go 9-20. They will go 9-18 in their last 27 games and miss the playoffs. Because right now Tampa Bay is not that far behind. Toronto's not that far behind. And think about this for a minute. The Yankees at one point this season had a 13-game lead over the Rays. 13. They had 20 over the Red Sox. So I don't know what's wrong with this Yankee team. They've lost Benintendi for the season, although he might come back. He fractured his wrist. He's getting surgery for it. I mean, there's so much wrong with this team. It's pathetic. It's just Judge is the only one that's carrying the team up to this point. They need help. I don't know if Stanton's back. I'm not sure where Stanton lies in this whole thing, which he is back, but he's heading at 214 right now. Judge is hitting at 302. The only Yankee player that's really close enough that's catching up to Judge's standards as far as hitting goes is Kinner Falefa. Okay? Stanton needs to get better. Torres needs to get better. There's no excuse for this. There's no excuse for this. And I just can't understand why the Yankees are struggling this bad. I really can't understand it. I really can't. But here's your Monday scores from last night. Red Sox lost to the Rays last night, 4-3. Giants beat the Dodgers last night, 7-4. Yankees beat the Twins, 5-2. Blue Jays beat the Orioles, 7-3. Brewers beat the Rockies, 6-4. Nationals beat the Cardinals, 6-0. Blue Jays swept the doubleheader, beat the Orioles again, 8-4. Diamondbacks beat the Padres, 5-0. White Sox beat the Mariners, 3-2. Astros beat the Rangers, 1-0. Guardians beat the Royals, 6-5 in 10 innings. Angels shut out the Tigers 10-0, and the Mets and Pirates were postponed last night. The doubleheader is today, I believe. Pretty sure it's on right now. They have one, or no, the doubleheader is on tomorrow. Okay, so it's on tomorrow. All right. One last article, and then I'm going to pretty much wrap it up here because I just heard this story right as I was leaving from work today. This was the shocking story of the day, which was the LeBron James and Drake being sued for $10 million. I did not read the article yet, so bear with me here. Did not read this article yet. You know, I don't know if this is even true or not. So this is according to, so I got one here from People Magazine. So LeBron James and Drake are being sued for $10 million over the rights for a hockey documentary reports. This is according to People Magazine on Amthestate. Through their production companies, LeBron James and Drake are producers behind the Black Ice documentary. LeBron James and Drake are facing a lawsuit over a sports documentary they collaborated on. According to the New York Post and TMZ, there has been a lawsuit filed in New York State Supreme Court over the rights to Black Ice, a film adaptation of the book Black Ice, the lost history of the colored hockey league of the Mirror Times from 1895 to 1925, which was released back in 2014. Billy Hunter, who was the former executive director of the National Basketball Players Association, filed the lawsuit this week and is requesting $10 million to the outlet's report. While the defense, LeBron James and Drake and Maverick Carter are internationally known and renowned in their respective fields of basketball and music, it does not afford them the right to steal another's intellectual property, Huger said in the sweep per the Post. The Hollywood Reporter shared last summer that James Uninterrupted Canada and the Spring Hill Company founded that with his business partner Maverick Carter will be making the documentary. Drake and Adele, Future Nur, who produced Euphoria, are executive producers through their Dream Crew Entertainment Company. The suit claims Hunter paid one of the authors, George Fosty, $250,000 back in February of 2022 for, quote, exclusive worldwide rights, post quote, to any audiovisual adaptation of the film. James' team allegedly offered the Fosseys $100,000 to acquire the already appointed rights to produce a separate documentary and agreed to pay them 3% of the film's budget, according to the Post. This to me, and I hear this story, and I hear this lawsuit, and I think to myself, I knew LeBron James couldn't come up with something on his own. I knew he had to steal it from something. Because when I heard about this, and I heard about the name, I'm thinking to myself, well, wait a minute. Black Ice was something that was talked about in my high school a lot, the book. The only reason I know that was because I don't remember if it was a teacher or it was a guidance counselor who was reading on it or what it was. But I heard it was a lot of talk. It was a lot of talk on the radio. It was a lot of talk. And I'm thinking to myself, that is vaguely familiar because I remember a guidance counselor talking about that in a meeting or something like that. I overheard the conversation. I wasn't even trying to listen to it. But I got into it and I'm like, okay. So I looked into it. I put in an audiobook on my phone. And I said to myself, you know what? Someone's going to steal this someday. So they better own the copyrights to it now before anyone else tried to take it. And of course, LeBron James tried to take it, claiming it of his own. Drake just goes along with it because LeBron is a popular and different energy when it comes to a popular guy. What guy you want to hang out with if you're an NBA guy, which Drake is. And I hear this, I roll my eyes and I go, you know what? LeBron, just pay the fine. Drake, pay the fine. Maverick Carter, pay the fine. Just pay it. End it. You know you did something wrong here at this point. Own up to it. It's over. You've been caught red-headed with a hand in a cookie jar. That's all I got to say here. The fact that he's being sued for $10 million at this point, that's chump change LeBron James. He's worth billions of dollars. If I was that guy right now, a future at this point, or Billy Hunter, who was the guy who was the executive owner of the whole thing, I would take at least $50 million, if not more. I know it's a small, percentage, but you call dibs on this stuff. You've written down the things for it. You know the history of it. LeBron James doesn't even know the history of anything at this point. He didn't even go to college. At least Drake's more educational. He should have known better. LeBron is just a doofus. I really think he is a doofus. I really think he is. Because I hear stuff like this and I just shake my head. I really do shake my head. I really do. Montero's Harrell has joined the 76ers. This is a report that just came out just now. It actually came out 53 minutes ago, according to Woj on ESPN and Bleacher Report. He's signing a 2-year deal that with Philadelphia that includes a player option. So he may not be in Philadelphia for long. The Yankees have placed Anthony Rizzo on the IL. Rizzo has been dealing with a headache since receiving epidural for his back pain. So the Yankees right now are probably more in trouble than people think. As crazy as it sounds, it's not looking good. Not looking good. Todd Bowles, I guess apparently graduated college. Congrats, coach. This is according to Aaron Rappaport on his rap sheet on his Twitter. Quote, "This is pretty cool. Congrats on earning your degree, Coach Bowles." So that's pretty awesome. That is awesome to hear. You don't really hear a lot of that very often about a head coach earning his thing. So we'll see what happens with that going forward. Mitchell Trubisky has been named the starting quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He will get the start in Week 1 in the post-Big Ben era in Cincinnati. So very interesting matchup there. Looking forward to that matchup. Derek Carr's details of Devontae Adams' recruitment. Raiders quarterback said he texted Devontae Adams about joining the Vegas the day the Packers playoff loss. So apparently he didn't take him that long to really convince Devontae Adams to leave Green Bay. I think Devontae Adams had his mind made up. Honestly, when I first heard about it, I don't really hear about him being that torn. I think he wanted to play for Aaron Rodgers. I think he wanted to stay in Green Bay. But when you really thought about it, it's like, if you're looking for houses in Las Vegas, which Adams was, then there is really no reason for him to stick around in Green Bay. He's not going to commute from Las Vegas to Green Bay. That's just not going to happen. I think he wanted to stay with Aaron Rodgers and be faithful to him, but when he wasn't being faithful to him and checking up on him and all that stuff right now and just saying what he said in the Pat McAfee show a while back, I just think to myself, oh, you know what? He wanted to stick with he made the right decision going with Derek Carr. Good luck, Aaron Rodgers, trying to figure out who the next Devontae Adams is going to be. Major League Baseball Players Association still needs recognition for Major League Baseball in all 30 clubs before representing the minor leaguers in the Athletic for approving the unionization. This is according to the Bleacher Report. This is a report 5 years ago, and also along with the Athletic. This is what was said here. Minor League Baseball players have crossed the Major League threshold of votes needed to unionize. Per the Athletic, Evan Drellick, the Major League Baseball Players Association has received signed union authorization cards for more than 50% of their minor leaguers. The MLBPA still needs to receive formal recognition from Major League Baseball in all 30 teams to become the official collective bargaining representative for minor leaguers, per Drellick. Quote, MLBPA Deputy Executive Director Bruce Meyer made that request for voluntary recognition in a letter sent to Deputy Major League Baseball Commissioner Dan Halem on Tuesday morning. The Players Association sent over what's known as a card check agreement, where the league would agree to voluntary recognition contingent on independent verification of the cards. From here, the next move might belong to Commissioner Rob Manfred and the owners, who have yet to publicly comment on the fast-moving unionizing effort, close quote. This is like showing your weed card. Can I just be honest? This is what this is treating it like right now. They might as well be showing the marijuana medical card. That's what they're treating this as. I don't know why they're treating it this way. I think it's kind of dumb to treat it this way, but they're kind of treating it this way, and it's kind of annoying. So just do it already. Get it over with. Kiki Hernandez is going to come back to the Red Sox. He got a 1-year, $10 million extension through the 2023 season. That was according to Jeff Passan. And, yeah, that is pretty much it. That's all I got to say about this today right now. This was a very short podcast for once. It was 2 hours last week. If you didn't watch a 2-hour show, go ahead and watch it. You can follow us on Snapchat. There was no Mike today, of course. It was just me, so let me interrupt you. But if you want to follow Mike too, you can follow him on Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram. You know, you can follow me as well on Instagram. I've had a long day today. I've been up since 3:45 this morning, so I'm going to go rest up, call it a night. So, yeah, you know my social media, Bleacher Report, Snapchat, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. You know the rest. You know the drill at this point. I will see you all on Saturday. Mike will be here on Saturday. Mike is no longer going to be here on Tuesdays. He's going to try to squeeze in a phone call today to give us his feedback on the games. Otherwise, yeah, that's how it's going to go now going forward. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell. I'm going to call it a day. Have a great day, guys. I'm out.